It's a bird. It's a plane. It's a flying pig. Hello, I'm Constellation Gaming, and today on Decklist December, we'll be taking a look at Chrysoar, an extremely strong mid to late game ascension that has the possibility to single-handedly win a game. To regulate our deck and strengthen our defenses, we'll be playing 3 copies of Aster Rabbit, a 2/5 Thunder Celestial that states when this Aster Rabbit receives 1 or more Thunder Spirits, you can look at the top 3 cards of your deck, add one of them to your hand, and shuffle the rest into your deck. Being able to scry 3 and pick the best one is always an extremely strong option, especially when it comes with a butt like this. Aster Rabbit is simply the best Celestial in the game and is an auto include in every deck. Other than Aster Rabbit, to start the game off and to dwindle down our opponent to the point where Chrysaor can win the game, we'll be playing a Win Toolbox package featuring 2 of each of these Elestrals that I'm about to mention. Soarlet, a 5/1 wind Celestial that states you can expend 1 wind in order to change the position of an Celestial unless it's wind enchanted. Simply a strong attacker that's ability is not to be underestimated. P-Gust, a 2/3 wind Celestial that states when this P-Gust receives 1 or more wind spirit, you can target and destroy a rune. P-Gust is there to break apart the enemy backline and ensure our Chrysaor can come in safely and win the game. Toxiswarm is a 4/1 wind celestial that states when this Toxiswarm receives 1 or more wind spirits, your opponent must expend 1. Toxiswarm hitting the board always counts as a 2-for-1 on spirits since they will automatically have to burn themselves for 1 and pay at least a minimum of 1 to deal with your Toxiswarm. And 2 copies of Nemisail. A 3/1 that states when this Nemisail receives 1 or more wind spirits, you can return up to 2 wind from your underworld to the spirit deck. As long as we can protect Nemisail, he can represent continuous healing over multiple turns, and even if he doesn't heal for multiple turns, he can still help the bleeding caused by the divine runes that we play in this deck. Now to wrap up the Wind Celestials, we're playing 2 copies of our Chrysaor, an 8/4 2-drop Wind Celestial that states this Chrysaor can attack an opponent's spirit deck directly. When this Chrysaor deals damage to an opponent, you can return up to 2 wind from your underworld to your spirit deck, so essentially representing a free swing of 4 spirits if you can get it on the board safely. And 1 copy of Exaltair. Exaltair is a 3/2 1-drop Wind Celestial that states you can Nexus up to 2 Wind Spirits. When you do, an opponent must expend 2. Either one of these can be extremely strong finishers to wrap up the game once you have dwindled down your opponent enough. And finally, to help us beat over Elestrals, we are playing 3 copies of Eddie. Eddie is extremely broken, stating that when you cast this Eddie, you can change the position of an Elestral. With him being a water Elestral himself and a 4 attacker, he has the capability of getting around most counter runes in the game, with the exception of Gorgon's Gaze. And our last Elestral is 1 copy of Elechik, a 4/1 Thunder Celestial that states when you normal cast this Elechik, you can search your deck for a Divine Rune and add it to your hand. Before I get started on the runes, I do want to remind everybody that I will be giving away a Reverse Stellar Exaltus at 100 subs. All you have to do to enter for a chance at this beautiful card is like the video and subscribe to the channel, and you will be entered. Now without further ado, let's get back to the deck. To pair with our Elechik, we're playing 2 copies of Aeolus. When you cast this Aeolus, you can enchant up to 4 Wind Spirits from it. You can disenchant up to 2 Wind Spirits from this Aeolus in order to search your deck for an Elestral with enchantment cost of 1 wind and add it to your hand. This can be extremely strong to consistently find the Elestrals that we're playing only 2 in 1 copy of. Next, and also able to be searched by Elichick, we're playing 1 copy of Zeus. When you cast this Zeus, you can enchant up to 3 Thunder Spirits to it. You can disenchant 1 Thunder Spirit from the Zeus in order to target an opponent's Celestial and give it -3/-3 until the end phase. This can be extremely strong and relevant for 2 reasons. Number 1, we do have a little bit of smaller statted guys, so it can allow our guys to beat over an Celestial that is needed. Secondly, it can pair very well with our next card, Cryoblast. Cryoblast states, target an Celestial that is not Frost Enchanted until end phase, give a -2 defense. When that Celestial hits 0 defense, you must destroy it. So pairing Cryoblast with Zeus is essentially a awkwardly costed Earthquake if you look at it, because it kills almost everything in the game that is currently being played at the moment. Next, we're playing 3 copies of Ambrosia. Ambrosia is a 1 cost that states return up to 3 spirits from your underworld to your spirit deck. Healing in this game is extremely relevant due to the fact that everything in this game costs your life. In order to finish off the invoke runes, we will be playing 1 copy of Earthquake and 1 copy of Resting on Your Laurels, both of which were limited to 1 and are extremely strong pieces of removal that we would be playing more if it wasn't for the limits. Now moving on to the counter runes, we're playing 3 copies of Gorgon's Gaze, 3 copies of PTA, 3 copies of Tsunami, and 2 copies of Altar of Stars. We're running the copies of Gorgons in order to essentially say no to everything that an Celestial can do. PTA is the much needed removal, and also the -2 attack can serve to protect our Celestials since they are smaller statted. And Tsunami is essentially fog from magic, which can blink an entire battle phase as long as they don't have water Celestials. To finish off the deck, we're playing 2 copies of Altar of Stars in order to protect our guys and possibly trigger 1 of 4 receive Elestrals that we have. Moving on to the Spirit deck, we're playing 2 Flurmine for the Cryoblast. We're playing 4 Zaptors for our Rabbits and our Zeus, and also the 1 of Elichick. 2 Taratlus for the Earthquake. We're playing 3 Leviathans for our Eddies and our Tsunamis, and we're playing 9 Lycras because we need a decent amount of them with how much wind we are playing. That's Chrysoar. If you enjoyed the deck, please like and subscribe, as I do post daily content like this, and I will see you tomorrow for another video.